Hi, I'm Rosalie Brewster and often known as the Neuro Nurse. I have a journey that's been taking place that I want to share with you on a video so that you too might understand that there are certain things that we can do ourselves to get from point A to point B if you found yourself in a situation like mine. My friend Nikki is going to come on and do a little bit of the chat with me and ask me a couple of questions. So it's not just me chatting away to you. So I hope that's all right with you. And you'll have a look at this and see if it's something that helps you to consider yourself or maybe someone else you know. So here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Nikki.
You all right? You okay?
Yes, good. Good, thank you.
Are you ready for this?
Well, I feel a bit nervous actually because, you don't know what to say sometimes, do you? Although that's never been one of my problems in the past. But it's good that you've got the time to ask me a couple of questions. So ask away and let's see how we get on.
Okay, so let's just start out with a little bit about who you are and a bit about your background and family, that kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm 61 this year. I have 3 grown-up daughters who are all having children now. I've got 4 grandchildren and 1 on the way. I am a former nurse, worked in general nursing for a few years and have continued my nursing placements, doing different things along the way. And I've worked in direct sales for quite a few years with products like aromatherapy, which I never knew anything about when I was a nurse, moving on to things like organic skincare and different things like that, a little bit of nutrition along the way. And then I discovered wearable neurotechnology, which absolutely resonated with me in that it was a non-invasive way of helping me to stay well.
Fantastic. And it was specifically like, what part of the body does this wearable neurotechnologist explain to me what part of the body this actually works with? Because that you found that quite fascinating, didn't you?
Well, initially it works on your brain, so it's just a pattern that when it's in contact with your skin, it triggers an effect and you feel the difference. So it's putting your brain into a really nice calm position, which gives it the ability to tackle whatever it is that's not quite in balance in your body. And every day, every minute you're wearing it, it's doing you some good. So it's quite simple, but for others, they think it's quite complex. So, but
Yeah,
it's my reality, really is.
fantastic. So you found this great technology that helps you with, your background of nursing and to be able to offer these things to people. But you yourself have, obviously you're wearing the technology, but can you just explain it to me or to everyone about your health in general over the years? So have you suffered from different ailments, conditions? Like what's been your background for your health?
I've been really lucky. I've been super healthy when I look back. I broke my ankle once, years and years ago. I had a traumatic brain injury 25 years ago. But, apart from some surgery in my jaw, I haven't thought there was anything that I needed to worry about. Don't have any aches and pains, don't take any medication, and haven't done. In fact, just haven't needed to go to visit a GP either. So I've been really, really lucky.
So your interest really in the technology was purely like from a professional, how can I help people, rather than how can you help yourself, because you felt like actually you've been lucky and haven't really needed any help, or so you thought.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at some of your brain scans that you've done. So it's called QEEG brain mapping. People will have heard of CT and MRI scans, and those look at the structure of the brain. And so people have probably heard of them and probably had them as well. not just the brain, actually. I had a MRI on my knee once, but they look at the structure and how it works. But the QEEG brain scans look at the functionality of the brain. So our brain is sending electrical signals throughout our body to help it work, and so the QEEG is able to read that in the form of brain waves, and then it's able to be interpreted. And you work quite closely with Dr. Mark DeBrincat, who is an expert in this field, and he's the one that's done your brain maps for you. So what we're looking at is you had been wearing this neurotechnology for 18 months prior to your first brain map. So we're going to look at the first brain map, which was you without any technology, but you had been wearing it for 18 months. But the first brain map is when you took the technology off. So you were just you. The second brain map we're going to look at is when you put the technology on, what happens within a few seconds. And then we're going to look at one that's 6 months later. So that was done in February this year, wasn't it? So we will talk you through what we see. And Rosalie, if you can just chip in and give details of what we're seeing, and how it actually how it's made you feel, or how it's affected you, these parts of your brain. So we've just selected a few things because the actual report is quite comprehensive. So if I just bring that up on the screen, and then we'll talk through it. And we have actually got Dr. Mark DeBrincat giving us a few kind of background information on what we're seeing. So we'll have that as well.
Just in case people wonder what I mean by neurotechnology, this is wearing socks with a pattern in, a sleeve on my arm for the cognitive areas of my brain, and some patches that the company have in Vox Life, and it's just pretty awesome. So this is what has made the change in what you're about to share.
Okay. Right, can you see that?
Yes, I can. Comparison.
Lovely. Wonderful. Okay, so
a long time ago.
Yeah. So first map was taken in August 21, and the second one in 22. So let's just get stuck in.
I'd also say to people listening, had no reason to have this done. It just was something that was offered to me, and I thought, cool, yes, let's have a look. Let's have a look. All is good. Let's just see what's going on under the bonnet.
And actually, how many of us actually know that this actually even exists? Because I didn't know it existed. So it's amazing.
I've never had an MRI. I've never had another scan. The only thing I've ever had is an X-ray. So it's absolutely new to me, but I was all in because I'm okay, got no issues.
Yeah. Right then, let's do it. So the first one we're going to look at, she says, got no issues. I can get onto the slide. We're going to look at the cortex. So this is how well you process information in your control. And this is the image that you saw. So just going to have Dr. Mark DeBrincat explain what we're seeing.
So when we look at the cortex, ideally you want it to be all gray. When it's yellow or even red, it's 2 and 4 times faster than it should be. Okay, and that in this scenario, more is not better. And so your brain's very active, and it makes it very hard to, I would say, stay focused on certain things for any length of time.
Just to explain, Dr. Mark DeBrincat, this was in a consultation that he had with you about your brain map. So when he's talking, he's specifically talking to you, isn't he?
Yeah, he's talking with the brain map in front of us like we're talking now. And this was a big shock to me, absolutely big shock to me. I went in with confidence that I hadn't got anything to worry about. But he knew better than that. He asked me if I'd ever had a traumatic brain injury. And of course, during my life, my married life, I'd had some situations, and I'd ended up with a concussion, quite a bad concussion. It broke my jaw, etc., etc. But I had no idea that what was residing in my brain was all the evidence of that. Fortunately, it hadn't affected me in my lifestyle or my talking, walking, anything like that. So this was I was expecting that would be grey, maybe 1 or 2 specks of something else, but definitely not bright red like this.
No, exactly. So that was you without the technology, and this was within 7 seconds. You put the technology on, and this is how it improved, which, you know, is incredibly. It's not quite so angry, is it?
No, I'm sitting there with the brain cap on, and this is straight away. This technology is instant. It's instant. So it's gone from being 4 times too fast to 2 times too fast. So we've got to, you know, like rein it in a little bit. So that was comforting to see that. But this change is just me pulling on a pair of socks.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was in August, and then you've been wearing the technology ever since, compliantly 24/7, every single day, and this is 6 months later. So and that's all you've done, isn't it? You haven't, you know, at this point, you hadn't done anything else other than wear this neurotechnology, and that's just incredible, because grey is where we want it for this particular map, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that is just like overwhelming, because having not realised there was any issue anyway, you know, what I've learned is all our traumas are traceable in the brain. I never knew as a nurse you could even look at the brain like this, and I'm not sure that this is even available to people. And so just the blessing of being offered the chance to look with my, call it the university of life, learning about the neurological system, the nervous system being the most important system in the body. And here I am able to see the differences by wearing a pair of socks or patches or whatever you choose to wear, insoles. And look what it's done. But this first one, the baseline one, what would it have been like 18 months earlier? And I could probably reflect back in poor memory, really disorganized, don't know whether I'm really coming or going, not really getting to the places I wanted to get. And all the time, as you look at the differences here, there's a massive change in me. But most of all, it's the peace of my mind, the peace of mind, you know, that this is turning around. And who knew that you could do that? I didn't.
Absolutely. No. Right. Let's go on to information flow then. So this is how fast you process information from one point to another throughout your brain. Now listen to Dr. Mark Brinkat again.
For information flow, this isn't sharing, this is just sending information. And in doing so, there's very much of a lag time, okay? And this is basically from your concussions, from all the different head traumas. It's just taking time to get there, okay? It's like I ask you a question about something you have to remember, and it's like you walk into the back room, go through the filing cabinet, find the right thing that you're trying to answer, and then you can answer it, but it's not instant, okay? So there's delays there. Now, the average person, this view is lit up all red and yellow, not blue, because people are too busy in their brain, okay? Only reason this would be blue is if you had a concussion.
Which obviously we know is the case, isn't it, with you? So this is then with the technology on. So the difference within 7 seconds of just putting the technology on, and there you can see 6 months later, the brain has been sped up from where it was slow and sluggish. And I'm right in saying that it's actually easier to calm down a brain that's going too fast than it is to speed up a brain. So it's quite incredible results, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm sort of 59 here, I think. I can't work the math out even, not thought of that. But at 59, I just was thinking it's just my age, you know. But it's so true. One of my daughters has always said to me, Mum, I'm one step ahead, you know, and that's how I feel. Today, I had a friend getting lost with the sat nav. That used to drive me mad, because I'd be looking at it and just couldn't get it all to come together. And yeah, you don't feel that you're slow like that. It just becomes your version of you. So to see this change and experience it now, I really know the difference now. And it's work in progress, but look at this. This is wearing a pair of socks or an insole or a patch. It's like, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to look at executive function. So this is a set of mental skills that include working memory, flexible thinking, and self-control. And we use these skills every day to learn, work, and manage everything in our life. If we have trouble with our executive function, it can make it really hard for us to focus and to follow directions like a sat nav and handle emotions amongst other things. So this was your baseline. And what we want to see is no lines. That's really what we're looking for. This was with the technology, so 7 seconds later. And then this is 6 months later.
Yeah, well, I think anybody can see the difference here. This is, like a ball of knitting wool, and you can't really see through the baseline very well. And of course, from the red to the yellows slowing down, you also have the other side of the grey is light blue to dark blue. And all of my maps in the baseline are very, very dark blue, which is slow, very slow. And he taught me that some of this could be from traumas where the nervous system, sort of up in the brainstem area, where your spine up into your brain, these nerves can get twisted and they can get turned off, or they get compressed. And sometimes they can break and they don't ever wake up. I think I'm fortunate in the fact that even after 25 years of knowingly having a traumatic brain injury, my nerves are coming back into play, and that is such a joy to see. So again, just 6 months later, this demonstrates that wearing the technology gives a cumulative effect as well as a difference within a few seconds. So wearing the technology day and night, you'd understand why I would never take it off, because look at the difference it's making, and it will continue to make a difference. But I am in a hurry, a little bit of a hurry to get out of this corner I'm in, because I'm looking at 1 of 5 probable neurological inconveniences, people,
defects or deficits they call them, don't they? Exactly.
Can't manage, can't remember things. Lots of people will understand what I'm trying to say there, or people that have tremors or things like that. So I need to get away from that, and who would have known that you can change this?
Absolutely. Right, so going on then, we've got the pain network. So this is your ability to regulate and compartmentalize your pain, because pain is the last warning. It's like your light coming on your dashboard. There was already a problem there, but it's until the light comes on, you don't know about it. And that obviously that's what our pain network is. The pain is the last thing we feel. But so we look at again here at your baseline, and then 7 seconds later when you put the technology on, and then 6 months later. I mean, your brain has certainly been woken up, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
With, by wearing this technology.
My pain network is doing its job, because I'm sure at my age, I must have a few aches and pains, but, it just speaks for itself, doesn't it? And yes, you said earlier, no lines is preferable, but I'm working on that. I'll continue to work on that. I'm just getting to the point now where I'm super excited to see my brain map one day with none of that there, just like probably it would have been many, many years ago. But for 25 years, I've coped and I've been all right, but I just want to wind back and make a new version of myself with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. The last slide that we're going to show is hyperconnectivity. So this is the scale in which your right and left brain are talking over each other. So communication between right and left brain is really important for decision making and problem solving. And if they're not talking to each other in the right manner, that it's going to make those sort of things very difficult. So this isn't, obviously a graphic of your brain as such, but this is the percentage and the scale that you're on. So you can see your baseline was in the red, 62%. 7 seconds later, it improved up to 59%. And then 6 months later, into the green at 16%, which, like you say, you didn't have any health problems that you know of, but you knew you were a bit slow and you weren't quite with it, and you got frustrated with sat nav, and you knew that you had those things, but you accept those things as just part of your life. But to know that actually, no, you don't have to put up with that. You don't have that. You can make a change. It's just, must make such a difference to you in your day-to-day life.
Oh, I'm a different person, and just knowing that this was going on and being able to do something about it, of course, it's just amazing. I've got grandchildren, and if I hadn't have known about this, I probably, who knows, it could have been now. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I was never going to be able to do anything about it because I didn't know it was there. So now I do. I'm looking after myself a lot better. My things I wasn't so good at was, being good to myself, how I ate, what I drank, what I did, and I should do more exercise and things. But now I've got all the reason in the world to be that new person. And that's what's exciting, because all I'm doing is changing one part of my lifestyle, and I'm getting incredible results with that.
Yeah, it really is incredible to see the difference between sort of then and now, and it just is by wearing this technology that works with the brain. And I'm actually really excited to see kind of in a year's time what your brain looks like, because I know that there's other things that that you've been working on as well, and I think we'll probably make some other videos to tell people about those. But just an incredible difference in your day-to-day life, and I know that your family have noticed the difference in you, and have just been amazed with just your energy and ability to kind of do things with your grandchildren, and just your cognitive ability is just that, and that's what it's all about. It's about day-to-day life and how we can improve our quality of life, and your results definitely speak for themselves. So yay, Rosalie.
Well, thank you, Nikki. I mean, I hope this helps others. It's not something everyone thinks they can do, but I've learned along the way that if only in our midlife time we were to have a peep at what we laugh about being under the bonnet, if we could do that and see that, whoops, hey, what's this, then maybe we could all have a different outcome. And it's just personal choice, but if anybody is interested, I'd be more than willing to help anybody hear a little bit more about how I've done what I've done. So that's what the main objective of this is, just reaching out, pass it on and help others.